And so this greatly beloved hymn of divine love might be an inserted quotation and possibly even an delicately adapted quotation from Hellenistic philosophical or rhetorical sources. Dear friends, in the first epistle of Apostle Paul to Corinthian Christians, in its 13th chapter, there is a beautiful and deeply meaningful passage about love. It is so well written that it is often called a hymn of divine love. Now, allow me to read it to you in my own dynamic equivalence translation. Paul writes, "I have something very important to tell you. If I spoke with all human eloquence or angelic ecstasy, but did not love, I would sound just like a heap of empty cans or corrugated iron. Or if I spoke God's very own word with all the power and understanding, and if I knew everything about absolutely everything, and if I had faith that was able to say to a mountain, 'Jump,' and indeed it would jump, but I did not love, I'll be nobody. If I gave everything I own to the poor, and even sacrificed my own life for a good and just cause, but did not love, I would get nowhere. Thus, no matter what I say, what I believe, and what I do, without love, I am a poor wreck. Love never gives up. Love cares more for others than for self. Love does not want what it does not have. Love is not arrogant or rude. Love never forces its own way. Love isn't always me first. Love is slow to anger. Love does not keep scores of others' faults. Love never takes pleasure in anyone's misery. Love finds its joy when truth prevails. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith. Love always hopes for the best. Love always keeps going to the very end. Love never dies. Prophecies will die out one day. Even languages will cease to exist, together with all our human knowledge. All of this will eventually become useless. Indeed, our current ability to understand is limited. Even our prophetic insights are limited. But when the completeness comes, everything that is incomplete will become useless. When I was a baby, I babbled like a baby, and I had the mind of a baby. When I became adult, I had no use for childish ways. For now, we don't see things clearly. We see like in a steam-fogged mirror. But then, we will see face to face. Now, my knowledge is limited, but then I will know as I am myself known. And thus, while we are on earth, we have for our help these three forces: faith and hope and love. And the greatest and strongest of these three is love. This is clearly a self-contained unit. It makes perfect sense on its own without knowing any of its context. And furthermore, within the context of the 1 Corinthians, it stands, even sort of sticks out. Yes, it somehow is connected with what precedes and what follows. But this sublime part of literature also gives impression of interrupting some down-to-earth and nitty-gritty arguments in chapter 12, which precedes, and in chapter 14, which follows. That led some notable theologians, among them my Prague New Testament professor Petr Pokorný, to suggest that this was originally a completely independent composition. And even noting that in this hymn there is hardly anything or almost nothing specifically Christian, it is even possible that the origins of this hymn might predate Paul. It might be Hellenistic rhetorical composition. And so this greatly beloved hymn of divine love might be an inserted quotation and possibly even an delicately adapted quotation from Hellenistic philosophical or rhetorical sources. And that is something you might not know about the Bible and this deeply beloved part of it. And now right away I have to continue. This feature makes this composition even more special and precious when you think about it. This sublime hymn survived because it was included in the Bible. Our faith, our religion preserve it for eternity. Because this hymn was included or even quoted by Apostle, and regardless of what you think about its original authorship, this hymn was also given, and rightly so, received the appropriate attention. It became inspiration for numerous works of art and religious thoughts and meditations. And on this Reformation Sunday, I would like to highlight how it inspired and influenced Proto-Reformation, Ur-Reformation, and Reformation theology. Join us this Sunday in person or online for our Reformation celebration. We will rejoice in faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of those three is love.